It's live now.
I can't get back to the screen though. There we go. Hang on. It's coming.
Mm.
There we go. We're live.
Yep,
All right.
you're live.
Welcome to Living by Oak Values. For nearly 2 years now, we've been walking through core values one by one, laying bricks of character and conviction. This month, we've shifted gears. Rob and I are talking about how to build your foundation utilizing these values. And today we're talking about grounded strength and gentle presence, using the value of equanimity. And we are real, we are raw, and we are ready to help you rebuild. Let's dive in.
Wow, you just took my line.
Which line was that?
Well, first off, equanimity, but that's okay. Equanimity, I didn't know what it was, so I had to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the state of mental calmness, balance, composure. If you really want to like kind of simplify it, it is like deeper, long life balance with your mind and soul, like mm, like a monk, I guess the best way I could figure it out.
Okay.
So, um, as we're talking about grounded strength and gentle presence, chat gave me this word, and it said it's because with equanimity you are calm and grounded, but with that comes the balance of em- keeping calm and grounded with the balance of your strength. And we'll go further and explain what truly means to be grounded and present.
Okay. So, what I want to talk about with this is that it's this to me, this is about being strong with your having a strong backbone. So knowing, and it's actually similar to last week's podcast in the sense that you have a strong backbone, so you know what you stand for, but you're also open and willing to listen to understand what people in your life or that you are talking to believe or yeah, pretty much believe what they believe in. That you can understand their beliefs and you can question them, but you do not sway in what how you feel.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
So if we have a discussion or a disagreement, so I will pick my battles, um,
Mm,
but I will not step down from my beliefs unless you actually have the facts needed to convince me otherwise. But I do want to hear what you have to say, and I will explain why I feel the way I do. But these are my beliefs that are backed by my values. And that's what I have. But I'm willing to be open to listening to what you have.
mm. So, mm, this is curtailing on the news of Charlie Kirk.
What was that?
So, I'm trying to stay off the Charlie Kirk
Okay.
topic because it kind of is part of
So let's actually talk about that for a second
ruling.
because
Uh,
we'll stay off that topic. But we won't stay off the topic. But we won't jump completely into the topic. But
okay.
he stood for his beliefs. He stood his ground. He had his reasons. That wasn't just I feel like this because someone told me this. He had his reasons for what he believed,
Hmm.
and I think that's very important. Actually, I know it's very important. I can't just say that I believe we'll just do this. The world is round
Uh,
because NASA told me the world is round, or I believe the world is flat because Rob Burton told me the world is flat. I need proof. Don't ask me where I get proof on that from, but what I'm saying, because I don't have it. But what I believe in, the things that I truly stand my ground on are things that they align with my values. And I'm willing to be open to listen to what you have. But unless what you have is factual and aligns with values that are greater than mine, there's a 99% chance I'm not going to shift. This having a strong back and a gentle presence also goes well in relationships. Because if your woman is having an issue or she comes to you upset or emotional, you can have that strong back and be there for her, but yet understand her emotions. So it can go in two different ways.
I did not do that right in my past relationship.
Neither did I.
I was too, and the word, I had too much backbone because I wasn't taught how to be open with people.
Okay.
And so if I didn't understand your emotions, or if I didn't understand why you were upset, crying, then probably to them, I seem very cold or unempathetic because, ah, you're crying for a reason that I don't understand.
Right.
Or and so being grounded and doesn't necessarily become you're being distant and cold just because that person behaves differently than you think.
Mm-hmm. So how do you learn this?
How do you learn this? I don't know. Mine came with practice.
Okay. Because that's funny
I
because
didn't.
I just had a conversation the other day with someone about, and we actually did a podcast about a year ago or so on empathy and sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling my daughter about this conversation, and she said something to her mother about this conversation. And her mother said something to her, and she came back to me. So it's like a big phone game, but that your father has no empathy or sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
And when she would cry, I would run away or tell her to stop. And when I worked in the restaurant business, I was managing, like if a server or somebody was having, needed to talk, I would push them away. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
handle, I say handle, but it's more like I couldn't understand the pain and I couldn't be bothered with it. It wasn't business related. Couldn't be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my daughter, this is 100% true. When I was married, I did not, definitely, I had sympathy, but I could not have empathy for you. Whether I couldn't or I didn't want it, I don't know. But somewhere along the line, since that day and all the work I've done, I I thought that I didn't have empathy until you called me out last week saying, you called me saying you feel like something's wrong. So I guess I
Mm-hmm.
do have empathy,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how I learned it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it could just be going, doing this work and the inner work and understanding me and trying to understand other people. And then with the coaching, talking to people. And I guess it comes from coaching because when you talk to other people to help, you have to understand where they're coming from.
Not, not that. Yes, I agree. Um, but it's also as we learn that you, the world doesn't revolve around us, more or less.
My world revolves
That
around me.
people live their own lives, and I had something happen to me. Was it last week? Where the big wig boss comes in and he's barking orders, and two of the newbie photographer and intern are sitting here trying to please the orders, listening
Hmm.
to the conversation, everything. But it's 12. It's time for lunch. We stop at 12 to go get lunch, and you can hear that boss just barking orders. And you see these two people over here starving. They're not listening. And in my head, I'm going, man, he needs to stop. So I walk over to him and I say, hey, it's lunchtime. Give him a break. We'll come back at whatever. I think it was 1 o'clock. And he was like, oh, okay. As soon as he walked out, another supervisor walked in and started telling him what to do. And it was just like, man. And so I had to, it's like, stop. We have to go and get lunch. You can resume all this conversation after lunch. And I don't know what it was, but that's, to me, I had to be grounded to see that. I had to visually stop and not be part of the conversation, not be part of the the and notice that, hey, the situation is becoming uncomfortable.
Okay.
And so then I had to show up gently to my supervisors and say, hey, the situation isn't good. Stop and let's start again tomorrow.
Hmm.
Or
Okay.
start again in an hour or whatever it was.
So I think I got my groundedness from the military
Mm,
because you have to be structured. You have to follow a protocol, you follow a routine. There's a plan for everything, and you don't deviate from the plan. So I think that's where
mhm.
I became grounded. And once I got out of the military, I stayed grounded, but I couldn't. Well, I'm gonna say I couldn't figure out the gentle side, but I didn't
Mhm.
even know about the gentle side.
Mhm.
So, so the gentle presence. Why don't you tell us about that? Or would you like me to?
Gentle presence. Hold on, you threw me off.
Well, what? All right. So I know that you and I both had this problem.
Okay.
We found the gentle presence in our marriages, and we became the nice guy. We people pleased.
Hmm.
So now we did a complete 180, or I did anyway, where I lost that rigid backbone. I became wish-washy, and I would do anything to make my ex-wife happy. I would do anything to make the neighbors happy. Whatever you wanted, yes. I was your yes man.
Yes, I
Okay.
agree.
All right.
I
So you can
mean,
relate
I
to that.
was too. Yeah.
And along with that, there were blurred boundaries. I forget blurred. I had no boundaries. Not one. Um, so and it became exhausting. My marriage failed. Well, number one, because it wasn't meant to be. Number two, because I had no backbone. I had no boundaries. I worked my ass off to please.
Mm.
I was like a dog chasing his tail endlessly for years on end. Forget days.
Hmm.
So yeah. I have a
Yeah.
question unless you're gonna talk more about it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I know we both had the same problem. So have you ever caught yourself being right at the cost of connection?
Yes.
Can you describe what that felt like and what it felt like afterwards?
So, me and my brother sometimes used to have like conversations like me and you where it was like, is the world round or is the world flat?
Mhm.
And it was more who was right. versus what was actually right. And so we would argue for hours just to see who was right.
Okay.
And I mean, we would go off on whatever the topic was. It doesn't even matter if the topic was the earth isn't round, it's square. All right. And it truly affected our relationship
Okay.
because it's like we got into the habit of being argumentative and holding our ground that we don't allow the other person to be heard or seen.
Okay. So you're just
And
constantly
it
bumping
kind
heads,
of just, we're constantly bumping heads.
like
And
two
because
bucks
we're
going
both,
at it.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. So
Yeah.
then I have one more question for you, and then I want to
All
get
right.
into the good part.
Okay.
All right. So my question is, where's the question at? Okay, there it is. How do you create that space where people can feel safe to bring you their whole selves? Where someone can come to you and say, I know who you are, I know what you stand for, but I can come to you in this emotional state and I know that you won't judge me or that you will guide me in the direction I need to go. How do you create that safe space? If you say I don't, I'm disconnecting the whole thing right now.
You, I don't know.
Disconnect.
It, in my experience, it's pausing and letting that person breathe
Okay.
before chiming in, giving my answer, giving my opinion, etc., etc. Because I think I'm a little too overbearing in a lot of aspects.
Okay.
And
Fair enough.
so if I stop and let that person get out their information, I create a safe space for them.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm definitely the same. I think that, but except the same, except so that the same but different. I create that space by they know that they can come to me. People know they can come to me and talk. They know that I stand by my values. They know that I have boundaries, but they know that I will listen. And it's so funny saying this out loud because 5 years ago, I would not know who is talking right now. um, it's a crazy turnaround that I've made. But yeah, people know that I have what I stand for, and I'm not going to sway. But I will listen to you. I will hear you. I will give you that space. Not you, everybody else.
I know. It's okay. I understand.
All right, so here's the good part. Now,
So, wait. So, to you, is letting somebody win or an argument, is that actually wisdom or is it cowardice?
I do not let somebody win an argument unless they have truly won. So there's no letting them win.
Mm,
I do not lay down.
mm. Hmm.
You
So,
gonna
what
call me out?
is truly more dangerous? If you're a strong man who's not gentle, or are you a gentleman who isn't really strong?
What is more dangerous? To be a gentleman that is not strong. Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you are gentle, people will come to you. But if you're not strong, they know that they cannot rely on you. The advice that you might give might not be sound. because you're not rooted in your values. So look at it like a tree. If there's a storm coming, not a lightning storm, a windstorm, rainstorm, whatever, and you need to get under a tree to stay dry, but it's windy, are you going to go to the big tree with all the leaves and no roots that might blow over and land on top of you? Or are you going to go to the medium-sized tree with all the roots that's dug into the ground, not moving? You like that one, don't you?
No, because I want to point out that on your shirt is an oak tree.
Yep.
And an oak tree is a big tree with roots that are shallow on the surface.
Yes, they are. But the oak tree also connects its roots with other trees like a brotherhood. So they are just as solid as deep-rooted trees. Now, we're talking about this one tree in the middle of the field.
Yeah. We're talking about one tree in the middle of the field. Yes.
Yeah. There's two trees. One with no roots, one with roots. Where are you going?
I can tell.
Anyway, you have to know how to balance it. But you cannot be one or the other. You have to balance it.
Because after my divorce, I think I became too much of a strong person. Yes, I had to find my values, but I was not nice to be around.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make me more dangerous than a nice guy who's pleased? I mean, you're going to run to the place that makes you feel safe. If you're a man who's constantly saying what's on his mind, constantly, whether it's true or not, versus a man who tells you what you want to hear.
Well, the man that tells you what you want to hear is not a good man. That's like mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the best looking of them all? My mirror tells me that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm, I don't know, if I shaved unevenly or my hair is a mess, I don't want the mirror telling me I'm okay, I'm looking good, go to work. I don't want that. I don't want anybody to tell me a lie just to make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything to be sugar-coated. Give it to me real, and if it hurts, you know what? I'll be okay. Wow, this is crazy because I just had a conversation with someone about being honest or being a leader and speaking the truth. Don't hide behind something because people need to be uncomfortable to grow. And if you are going to be a leader, you need to make the people that are following you uncomfortable so they can grow with you.
So is your strength, though, coming so that you can prove yourself?
No. My strength comes from, like we've discussed, it comes from within my values. It comes from within me, and it's to prove nothing. If you choose to follow, I will lead.
But are you using it to help build others up?
It depends on what that means. If you are down in the dumps, I'm not going to tell you that life is wonderful and easy and you're going to be rich and everything is going to work out in your favor. Just put a smile on, buddy. You got this. Because that's not what you need to hear. You might need that accountability mirror talking to you. You might need that kick in the ass, that wake up. You're lazy. Do better. It's not what you think you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. That's where we get to the next topic. Your favorite topic. You want to talk about that word that you love? No,
I'm actually confused where you are on the list. Sorry.
I'm not. I'm not paying attention.
Oh, I
I'm. I just.
well,
I don't want.
you
What I'm
said the
getting at is
word I.
tension.
Oh, sorry. Let me
You're good.
go back up.
So when you put all this
I've already
together,
passed that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
when you put all this together of having that backbone, but being gentle, if you bring that together in a relationship, whether it's just friends or a romantic relationship, that tension is where growth happens. So if I am in a disagreement with you or anybody, that conversation where we disagree, that is where tension will build. And I have a choice. I can shut that tension down and walk away and stay where I am. And that will also turn the other person off. Or I can listen to understand, and they can do the same. And we can have a conversation about where we are, what we believe, and what's going on. And that tension allows both of us to grow and understand each other better. No one has to be right. But if you understand where someone's coming from and they understand where you're coming from, that will strengthen a relationship versus you're wrong, I'm right, cold silence, done, conversation over.
So, how do you find the balance?
What balance? In the tension,
Yeah.
it's not about balance, it's about just listening. So even when me and you have a disagreement on something,
Mm-hmm.
I we talk about it. Or even if I have a question and I know
Mm-hmm.
that you know more on the topic, I want to hear your thoughts. That's me creating my tension so that I can grow and learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no balance. It's just a matter of being able to listen to understand.
Listen to understand. How does that build trust?
Because you're listening. I think listening to understand is one of the biggest components of love. And if you are practicing that kind of love, that builds trust. To know that I will listen and understand where you're coming from, or somebody will listen to what I'm saying and understand where I'm coming from, that builds trust. Because I know that you're not going to shut me down. You're going to hear me out. And if what I'm saying is, like I said, it doesn't have to be correct. You don't have to sway anybody's mind, but to hear and understand what I'm saying, that says that you care, and that's love.
Mm.
So that will build the trust. All right, speak, Rob. Come on. Someone just listen. They're not going to know what's going on here. Cough or something.
Well, you just asked me to listen so that
Oh my
you
God.
can feel
You're
trust.
killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Okay,
Did you not?
I did. Does that make sense, though, on why that works?
Yes. However, I know of a few times where we have had arguments and it's more like not arguments, but conversations.
Sure. Tension.
And I don't think the conversation is going anywhere.
Okay.
And so I kind of just like, I don't want to continue the conversation, but
Okay.
you do.
Mm-hmm.
That creates a different type of tension.
Nope. That ends the tension. that says I'm not willing to grow. I don't want to hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this conversation is going nowhere. I'm hanging up. Click.
Mm-hmm. So I don't have a right to refuse to be in this.
You have that right. You absolutely have that right to say, I don't want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to understand what you're trying to tell me. I have that right.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if I tell you that, you should know that if you come to me with something else, I probably don't care. I probably really don't want, I'm going to shut that down also.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think the conversation is going nowhere, I think that probably has something to do with it's making you uncomfortable. Maybe.
Okay.
And if you're uncomfortable, what happens when you're uncomfortable?
Go ahead.
You grow.
Mm,
When you're not in your comfort zone, you are uncomfortable. And that is the only place that you will grow.
interesting.
Now, before we close it out, unless you
Okay.
got more,
Oh, nope.
there's self tension, purposely causing tension with yourself. And that happens every single morning to me. I wake up and I have to go to the gym. Do I really have to?
Mm-hmm.
No. I could lay in bed. I could lay in bed for another hour. But no, I tell myself I need to go to the gym. Why? I need to be healthy. I need to stay fit. I need to keep becoming better. So that's me talking to me. So it's a little bit crazy. Whatever. But that's self tension. That's me building my own tension to keep me moving forward.
Mm.
Do you have self tension or have you ever used that before?
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes my mind lies to me. So
Okay.
I have to be careful about the conversations I have with myself.
Can you explain in a express
I don't know
version or
that we
whatever
have
how your
enough
mind lies to you?
time left. But I mean, you think about it, is your mind is another version, let's say said ego, and it can tell you that you're fat, you're ugly, you need to lose weight, you need to go do this, you need to go do that. And it's trying to have an argument with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you don't want to go walking in the park or you don't want to get up and exercise. So you have two conversations with yourself and
Mm-hmm.
different points of view.
Yes,
I tried to condense it. Was that fast enough?
it's good. But now I'm going to go deeper.
Oh, well, you said condense.
I did. This is going to be a 2 hour episode. No, not really. That part of your mind that is lying to you,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's telling you the truth. Whichever one of them, whichever one is saying to you, you don't need to go to the gym. That is your mind protecting you. Because when you're sitting in that bed or you're sitting on that couch doing
Mm-hmm.
nothing, you're safe. You're not going to pull a muscle. You're not going to fall down. No one's going to say to you that you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid. You're on your own. You're in your bubble. It's
Mm-hmm.
when you don't listen to that voice and you go outside of what it says. Now you're once again out of your comfort zone and you will grow. So that voice that tells you to stay in the bed, stay on the couch, don't exercise. That is your normal brain keeping you safe,
So
keeping
why
you
can't
in
you
your
trust
comfort
it?
zone. But
You can trust that then, correct?
if you don't want to grow,
Mm-hmm.
your mind is the worst thing for you, I believe.
So how can you stay grounded, gentle, and still grow?
because you have to have compassion for yourself. So when I wake up and say I don't need to go to the gym, I could stay in bed.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
compassion.
understand that I'm tired. I understand I had a late night,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand that those are choices that I made, and I've already made a commitment to myself that I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not only for me. That's the person that I want to model. I want people in my life to see that I'm a healthy person. Most importantly, my daughter. I want her to see that when dad says he's going to make a commitment, he's making a commitment. Because then, now we're going down somewhere else, but when I tell her I'm doing something, she knows I'm real. Because when I said I was going to get out of bed and go work out, and I did on 3 or 4 hours of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
she knows that I put the tiredness aside. I got up and I did what I said I was going to do. And that is somebody that I have not always been. I have not always been a man of my word like that. And for the last 5 years, I'd say yes, maybe even a little longer. I'm not sure anymore. It's being forever now, but I am a man of my word. When I make a commitment, I keep that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is being grounded and gentle.
All right.
So
Time for a wrap.
yeah, wrap it up, and then I'll finish off the last piece.
All right. That's a wrap. Um, this week, try the experiment. Stand firm in an area where you usually give in, and then be soft on an area where you try to armor up. Notice what shifts in yourself. In that balance, you may find the equanimity, how to be strong, how to be gentle, and remember, you're trying to leave a legacy worth remembering. Yeah. So, um, I lost the rest of the document. Where to go? That's all I got. Where's the
Okay,
rest of it? Yep. Sorry.
you're good. If this episode has stirred something in you, don't just leave it here. Join us on Thursday nights at the Motivated Men's Group and step into a circle of motivated brothers who are sharpening each other every single time we meet. We stay connected through our Inner Circle newsletter. That's where we drop this podcast episode tomorrow morning with fresh insights and tools on how to live your week based on this podcast. So you can check it out and last all week based on what we have talked about today. And if you haven't grabbed it yet, download our free ebook to start rebuilding with clarity and purpose. Until next time, stand up, speak the truth, and above all, stay authentic.